The role of a lab technician is crucial in healthcare, research, pharmaceuticals, and even industries like food and environmental testing. Lab technicians are responsible for preparing specimens, running tests, maintaining equipment, and ensuring results are accurate and reliable. Because precision and attention to detail are central to this role, interviews for lab technician positions often focus on technical knowledge, problem-solving abilities, and a candidate's ability to follow strict procedures. Preparing for a lab technician interview can feel overwhelming because of the mix of technical and behavioral questions you might face. Interviewers want to know if you can operate advanced laboratory equipment, understand safety protocols, and maintain quality standards. At the same time, they also want to gauge your teamwork, communication skills, and professionalism. In this video, we'll cover some of the most common lab technician interview questions, share sample answers, and offer useful tips to help you stand out from the competition. The role of a lab technician. Lab technicians form the backbone of laboratory operations. They handle everything from specimen collection to conducting chemical analyses, preparing solutions, and recording results. Their work ensures doctors, researchers, or clients receive accurate information for diagnosis, treatment, or scientific discovery. Beyond technical skills, lab technicians must demonstrate strict adherence to safety protocols and be able to troubleshoot issues when tests don't go as planned. Now let's go through key lab technician interview questions with sample answers and tips for responding effectively. Common lab technician interview questions with answers and tips. Question 1. Can you tell us about your background and experience as a lab technician? Answer. I completed my degree in medical laboratory technology and have 2 years of experience working in a diagnostic lab. During this time, I performed tests such as blood counts, urinalysis, and microbial cultures. I also ensured equipment was calibrated regularly and that samples were handled properly. My training has taught me to work carefully under pressure, follow lab protocols strictly, and maintain detailed records of test results. Tip: highlight your education, certifications, and practical experience. If you are a fresh graduate, emphasize internships or training programs. Question 2. How do you ensure accuracy in your test results? Answer. Accuracy begins with proper sample collection and labeling. I always double-check patient information before running tests. I also calibrate equipment regularly and follow standard operating procedures for each test. For instance, while working on blood analysis, I always ran quality control samples alongside patient samples to ensure results were within acceptable ranges. Documenting every step and reviewing results before releasing them also helps prevent errors. Tip: employers want to know you can handle sensitive data. Stress consistency, attention to detail, and compliance with protocols. Question 3. How do you prioritize tasks when working in a busy lab? Answer. In a busy lab, I start by reviewing incoming samples and organizing them based on urgency and type of test. For example, stat samples, which are critical, take priority over routine testing. I also prepare equipment and materials in advance to save time. Communication with colleagues is key as well. We coordinate workloads to ensure efficiency. By balancing urgency with accuracy, I make sure all tasks are completed on time without compromising quality. Tip: demonstrate time management skills and the ability to work under pressure. Question 4. What safety protocols do you follow in the lab? Answer. I strictly follow all safety guidelines, including wearing personal protective equipment, labeling hazardous materials, and properly disposing of biohazard waste. For example, when handling blood samples, I always wear gloves, use designated sharps containers, and disinfect work areas afterward. I also stay updated on OSHA and lab-specific guidelines. Safety is non-negotiable in lab work because it protects both staff and the integrity of results. Tip: show that safety is your priority and that you are well-versed in handling hazardous materials. Question 5. Can you describe a time you encountered a problem in the lab and how you solved it? Answer. Once, while running a series of tests, I noticed inconsistent readings from one of our machines. Instead of continuing with the faulty data, I stopped testing, ran control samples, and recalibrated the machine. When the issue persisted, I reported it to my supervisor and documented everything. This quick action prevented inaccurate results from being released and allowed the machine to be serviced promptly. Tip: use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. Employers want examples of problem solving and accountability. Question 6. How do you stay updated on laboratory techniques and advancements? Answer: I keep myself updated by reading scientific journals, attending workshops, and participating in continuing education courses. I also follow professional organizations like the American Society for Clinical Laboratory Science. Recently, I took a short course on advanced molecular techniques, which introduced me to newer PCR methods. Staying current helps me bring fresh knowledge and best practices to my workplace. Tip: highlight a proactive learning attitude. Employers want candidates who evolve with new technologies. Question 7. How do you handle pressure when you have multiple tests to complete? Answer: when faced with high workloads, I prioritize tasks based on urgency and work systematically. I also break larger tasks into smaller steps to stay organized. During peak times, I remain calm and focused, knowing that rushing can lead to mistakes. For example, in my last job, I often had to process over 100 samples daily. But by keeping a checklist and staying disciplined, I managed the workload without compromising accuracy. Tip: stress your ability to stay composed and organized under pressure. Question 8. What experience do you have with lab equipment and technology? Answer: I have worked extensively with centrifuges, microscopes, spectrophotometers, and automated analyzers. I am also comfortable with lab software used for recording and analyzing results. For example, I used an automated hematology analyzer for complete blood counts and ensured daily calibration. I also performed basic troubleshooting when machines displayed errors, which minimized downtime. Tip: mention specific equipment and your level of expertise. This shows you're ready to handle the lab's tools from day one. Question 9. How do you ensure confidentiality when handling patient data? Answer: I understand the importance of patient confidentiality and strictly follow HIPAA guidelines. I never discuss patient results outside of professional settings and make sure records are stored securely. For example, when entering results into our system, I always use secure login credentials and logged out after use. Respecting confidentiality is part of maintaining trust in healthcare. Tip: emphasize ethics and professionalism. Interviewers want to see you value confidentiality. Question 10. Why do you want to work as a lab technician in our organization? Answer: I admire your organization's reputation for accuracy and innovation in laboratory services. I am excited by the opportunity to contribute my skills in diagnostic testing and equipment handling to a team that values both precision and patient care. I believe this position will allow me to grow professionally while contributing to meaningful work that impacts patients' lives directly. Tip: tailor your answer to the employer. Research the company and explain why their lab is the right fit for you. Final tips for lab technician interviews. When preparing for a lab technician interview, practice both technical and behavioral questions. Be ready to demonstrate your knowledge of laboratory equipment, safety protocols, and procedures. At the same time, prepare to discuss soft skills like teamwork, organization, and communication. Use real-life examples whenever possible to illustrate your answers. It also helps to review basic laboratory principles and stay familiar with the latest developments in your field. Employers want candidates who are precise, ethical, and adaptable. Conclusion: lab technician interviews test not only your technical abilities, but also your mindset, professionalism, and adaptability. By preparing for these common interview questions, structuring your answers clearly, and applying the tips shared, you can show interviewers that you are capable, detail-oriented, and passionate about the work you do. With confidence, preparation, and a focus on accuracy and safety, you'll be well positioned to secure the lab technician role you're aiming for.